Our first full slate of high school football for teams in Alabama and Georgia did not disappoint. Coming up, see how your favorite team did on the gridiron this past week. Plus, most games were on Friday with the exception of one. This matchup between two powerhouses from different states. Central traveled to Atlanta for the Cam Newton Classic. See how they did against the Maize Raiders. It's all on The Last Call, and it starts right now. Welcome back to The Last Call. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. We went on a little late on Friday night because of the NFL preseason. You can never get too much of a pointless scrimmage, right? Well, anyway, if you missed part or all of the prep zone, don't worry, because there's always time for a last call. Let's run it back. It was the 56th time Carver and Spencer squared off. The Tigers were coming off a huge win against Harris County. The Green Wave, not so much. They got rolled 42-6 against Columbus last week. But it's a new week, and it was the guest of honor and former Green Wave legend Ernie Green, who, by the way, won a world championship with the Browns as a running back. He was also running back with Jim Brown. All right, over to the action. Spencer punts, and bad news for Carver. They can't hang on to it. The Green Wave pounds on top of it, and they're in business. A few plays later, Trey Lee, he had a big game, stretches out for the touchdown. First one of the game, Spencer leads 7-0. Some good defense the rest of the first half, so the Green Wave up 10-0 break. We saw Ernie Green. How about Tim Walton, former Carver great and Giant head coach, hoping to cheer for something, and here it is. Jalen Joyner connects with Cam Vaness for the tutty. Carver trails 10-7 halfway through the third. Carver adds a safety, so it's 10-9. Less than 5 in the game, and Kyrie McCoy has the ball, finds a lane, makes a cut up the sideline, and he gone. Carver has its first lead of the game, and they hold on to win 15-10. Huge win in the Heritage Bowl.
Tonight was the home opener for Harris County hosting Westside Macon, but it was a rough start for Harris. Davion Mahone throws one deep, but it's picked off by Nate Brookins, and he's got room to run down the sideline. He almost goes down right here, but keeps his balance, stays up, puts the Seminoles inside the red zone. That led to a Macon touchdown. Later, Tigers facing fourth and short. Mahone decides to keep it himself. He gets the first down and more. Check that guy's ankles. That kid can scoot. That led to this. Handoff to Cal Vaughn Harris, one of the biggest recruits on the team. 3 stars to be exact, but check out this run. This is Harris. Boom! Hits the truck stick, earned himself another star right there. He won't be denied. It's tied at 7, 9 minutes left in the first, but in the end, Harris County drops their second game in a row, 27-24.
Great game there. This one, too. 6A Opelika crossed the bridge to take on 2A Callaway. Both teams ranked 6th in their respective classes. 5:09 left in the second quarter. It's 0-0. Opelika has the ball. Cade Blackman, a shovel pass to Jinus Mitchell for the Bulldog touchdown, 7-0 Bulldogs. All right, about a minute left in the second quarter. Opelika still leading 7-0. And then Jacob Freeman fakes the handoff, takes it, and he's going to keep it. Gets hit hard, but gets the touchdown, 17 yards out. The score is 7-7 at half. Callaway makes a statement. They win 35-21. Huge win.
Crazy. Marion County Wildcats, they gave us our top play last week. This week they face against Chatco. Panthers inside the red zone. DeAndre Masson calls his own number, bounces off a couple cats. Touchdown, Panthers. Later on, Chatco. It's their turn, knocking on the door. This time they call on Brandon Thomas. You know what, big fella, do your thing. Gets to the outside and sprints into paradise. Another Panthers touchdown, but here come the Eagles. They get enough time, and yes, sir, bringing it inside the red zone. That led to an Eagles touchdown. Marion County outlasts Panthers 45-21. Eagles get back-to-back wins to start the season.
Good for them. Troup County on the road tonight in Rossville. The Tigers have won 17 games in the last 2 years under Tanner Glisson. In the second quarter, Troup up by 8. Auburn commit Kobe Hudson hooked up with Trey Mitchell on a little screen, and Mitchell turned on the wheels, blown by everyone for a touchdown, 15-0. The Tigers kept pouring it on, and it showed. This is why Hudson is committed to Auburn. On 3rd and 23, why throw it when you can just do this? Hudson keeps it himself, runs through a couple of tackles, and he gone. Troup goes on to win 32-0.
That kid is a beast. Now this went down Thursday. Northside kicking off their season against Shaw. The Raiders put 40 up, 48 against Kendrick. No score. Shaw fumbles deep in their own territory. So Northside has the ball. Kendrick Blanton calls his own number and touchdown. 7-0 Patriots. He showed off his legs right there, but does he have an arm? Yeah, he does. Drops this dime to Zach Rutherford. Just like that. Northside goes up 14-0 with over 2 minutes until halftime. That is what will get the crowd jumping like this. They get fired up with the drum line right before the second half. White out in the stands, the defense working on a shutout in the field. John Woods, right place, right time, gets the pick. And you know what? My man knows where the camera is, and you deserve some extra time for that. Land shark. Go. So just like that, the Patriots are inside the red zone, and from the red zone to the end zone, Fred Davis Jr. punches it in from 1 yard out. Patriots kick off the Dan Nuremberg era with a huge 48-15 win.
All right, back to tonight, catching up with some other scores. The Randolph Clay Red Devils hosted Pelham. The Hornets pitched the shutout on the road. Byron getting the Red Devils 57-0, and Brookstone, they lost a close one yet again, 36-32 to Montgomery Academy.
Pacello took an L at home, but now they were on the road facing Calhoun County. The Vikings finally break into the win column, 37-34 over Crawford. Sly lost a tough one against Marion County in week 1. This week, they get a big win on the road, 47-28 over Calhoun County. That's going to do it for our Georgia high schools. It's time to go across the river to see the teams in the Yellowhammer State. We'll check out more Prep Zone right after this.
First full week. Justin Holbrook with Rex Castillo. It's time to go across the river and catch up with some Alabama schools, and that's you.
All right, so I was really excited. We start with our Class 2A state champs playing in 1A these days, the Lynette Panthers. It's another Week 2 rivalry, of course, as Valley travels to the defending state champs. Second quarter, Valley goes ahead. They're up. Yes, they're up 14-7. BJ Baker running, gets stripped of the ball. Zion Lynch all over it. Panthers would take over. Under a minute to go now. The snap goes over the head of Christian Story. He has to scramble to recover that one. Next play, though, Lynette would try to go for the fake punt. But the Oregon commit, Triguez Bridges, gets hit hard, pops it up. Panthers recover. The turnover on down. Not looking good right now. Third quarter, same score. They lead 4-7. Christian Story drops back. Picked by Steven Coker. He's got a lane. The big 6, but the Zebras would ruin the party. Penalties take the score off the board.
Hate to see it.
Valley defeats Lynette for the first time since 2016, 28-22. Just
All right, over to Auburn. 7A Tigers getting a new season started under fourth-year head coach Adam Weingarten. First quarter, Auburn in the red zone. Griffin Speaks drops back in the pocket. Fires toward Troy Williams, who is too big to bring down. 7-0 Auburn early on. Wilcox Central trying to do the same thing, but they can't protect the quarterback. You need to do that in football, apparently. He's swarmed by the defense, and they will turn it over on downs. Auburn back on offense. Griffin Speaks is dangerous in the air. He'll throw to Tommy Neesmith, who dodges one tackle, dodges two. He's going to break away for the 50-yard touchdown run, and Auburn wins easily, 42-0 in their opener.
That Tigers team is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Lee Scott Academy hosting the Fort Dale Eagles in the home opener. Fort Dale in the red zone. Baron Brack hands it off. Wait, it's a fake. Calls his own number. Touchdown, Eagles. Now the Warriors turn. Will Fisher, he likes that. You know what? I can run through. Following a great block from Vanderby. Wiersma finds a hole, hits the turbo button. See you later. Touchdown, Warriors. Now Lee Scott threatening before halftime. Fisher rolls out, throws it to Thomas Watley. Breaks a few tackles, dives through the end zone, but oh goodness, just short. Fourth down, Warriors. Lee Scott lines up for the field goal. Snap goes bad. He scrambles. I don't know what to do. Says a prayer. Caught by Kate McKelvey. Disaster. Turns into a miracle, but Lee Scott would unfortunately fall short. 25-13.
They planned it the whole time. Over in Eufaula, the Tigers were hosting the Early County Bobcats. Tigers went 9-4 last year, getting bounced in the second round of the playoffs. Second quarter, Eufaula punting, and Cesar Garcia is called for running into the kicker, which gives Eufaula an automatic first down that leads to this 26-yard field goal by Davis Wingate. That gives Eufaula the exciting 3-0 lead at halftime, but don't worry, they scored plenty more in the second half, winning big 28-3.
That's them staying. Eufaula, the Glenwood Gators hope to bounce back this week against Lakeside. Glenwood up 6-3 in this one in the third. Glenwood QB Bryce Valero calls his own number, drives it into the end zone from 2 yards out. This though, 9-6 Glenwood. Gators go for the onside kick, and you know what? It pays off. They recover it, and that would lead to this. Let's go back to that man. Valero keeps it again, fakes out the defense, dives into paradise. That kid can ball. Gators go up 16-6 after that. And the Gators get their first win of the season, 23-20 over Lakeside. Justin.
Jason Gibson's a busy man. Russell County and Smith Station faced off at Panther Stadium. Smith Station gets the ball first and drives the length of the field, ending with this 3-yard touchdown run from Tyron Hall, and they're up 7-0. They didn't win a single game last year, but hoping to change that in their very first game this year under first-year head coach Mike Glisson. And the second quarterback Corey Mitten breaks away from a couple tacklers and earns a touchdown the hard way. Panthers lead 7-0. They win 28-9, so now they have more wins this year than they did last year.
Nice.
All right, some more scores for teams on the road. Beauregard falls 35-20 to Benjamin Russell, and Beulah taking on Lochapoka. They lose 33-6.
All right, let's catch up with some other schools as well. Lafayette, I'm learning to say that now. Tonight, the Dogs lose to the Tigers 24-18 on Thursday. Notasulga and Barber County, and Notasulga just blasts their opponent 46-7.
All right, Friday night was our first full night for high school football teams in Alabama and Georgia, but this week didn't end on Friday. Last night, the Central Red Devils played the Maize Raiders as part of the C1N Cam Newton Classic. And there is the host of it all, former Auburn Tiger and Heisman Trophy winner Cam Newton. Here's a guy hoping to accomplish what Cam has in Central quarterback and LSU commit Peter Parrish. Let's get to the action. The Raiders would score first, but this is how the Red Devils respond. Robert Marsh muffs the kick at first, recovers, gets outside, breaks a couple ankles, and he gone. Just like that, Central takes a 7-6 lead, and the Devils find their momentum, and that is all it would take for them to keep going forward. 3:24 left in the half. Tucker Melton fakes the handoff and finds Tommy Vickers wide open in the middle. He takes care of the rest. 70 yards for the tutty, and the Red Devils lead 14-6. Under 2 minutes before the half, the Raiders are on the move until Alonzo Fluellen gets the tackle, strips the rock away, and recovers it. And on the very next play, the future Arkansas Razorback Monte Spivey finds a hole, and he also is gone. 65 yards for the touchdown, 21-6 at the half, and they win easily 42-18.
It was great, it was good seeing them big boys, do their thing out there and ball out, I feel like they don't get as much exposure as they deserve, they're the ones that make the blocks first and things like that, so it was great.
We bounced back great. We overcome the adversity. The coach tells us every day, adversity going to hit us anytime in the game, so we just got to overcome it.
We get the opportunities, we go take them. Coming to Atlanta and playing a quality team as Maize. Maize was 44-9 over 4 years. They've been a semifinalist last 3, so they're a good football team. So I'm real pleased at where we're at. Maize had 3 games coming in, we didn't. So our guys really did a good job tonight, I think.
After the game, Cam Newton's dad, Cecil, gave them a speech and then the trophy. It's another big game next week for Central when they host Meridian from Mississippi. By the way, Central had 8 returning starters on defense, only 2 on offense. They replaced all of their offensive line, but they look pretty darn good. All right, coming up on the last call, a bad snap last year kept the Lions from winning their first ever National Arena League championship. They have a chance to change that tomorrow when they take on Carolina. Coming up, you'll hear from head coach Jason Gibson on what the team needs to do to win it all. Tomorrow night, the Columbus Lions have a chance to win their first ever championship in the National Arena League. They've won 3 titles before, but all of those came in different leagues. They'll play the Carolina Cobras, who they beat twice and lost to once this season. Their only loss against the Cobras came without quarterback Mason Espinoza, who suffered a leg injury in the second-to-last regular season game. He was not able to play in their playoff game against Maine, but his backup, former Auburn QB Jeremy Johnson, balled out with 4 rushing touchdowns in a 50-36 win over the #1 seed in the Maine Mammoths. The Lions lost in the NAL championship last year on a bad snap, something that has motivated this year's team all year long.
Well, for us, again, there's no pressure. We're just having fun. I mean, I hate to say it, but we expected to be there anyway. So we're not jumping out of joy like, holy cow, this is so exciting, what are we going to do? I mean, we expected to be there no matter what the record was. And let's not have the feeling we had last year. I mean, this whole thing kind of started the second we lost that game last year. Everything we did was to get to this point in time for this opportunity to rectify what happened last year. And it would be nothing better to get 3 out of 4 championships. So.
Mason Espinoza is cleared to play, but Gibson says Jeremy Johnson will get the start. Gibson added the difference will be who wins the turnover battle, probably an indication from last year. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock in Greensboro. Stick around, we've got picks of the week coming up on the other side, and finally, it's time to make college football predictions. Welcome back to Picks of the Week. I'm joined by Jack. We don't have Rex and Connor here. You're going to hear from them in a bit via us. But football's finally back. And
It's back, man.
It. Yeah, no preseason. High school football. We've got that. Now we have college football. And we're focusing on Auburn versus Washington. That game's in Atlanta. And it's 2 top 10 teams. Who you got?
Well, Mercedes-Benz has been a house of horrors. Peach Bowl,
Yeah.
SEC championship. This will change. Tigers will win. Cam Martin, his coming out party.
I know Cam's strong and so is Jarrett Stidham, but they have a very young offensive line replacing 4 starters from last year. So I'm taking the Huskies based on that. And the Huskies were about a year early last year. I think they're a top 5 team, so I'll take Washington. And we're sticking with football. Alabama is playing Louisville in Orlando, but we're not picking the game. We're picking what everyone's been trying to pick all offseason. Which quarterback is going to start? Who are they going to roll with? Is it Tua? Is it Jalen? Jack, who do you think?
I mean, we don't know how healthy Tua is, and Jalen's been kind of going off with the media, so, Saban doesn't like that. If it's up to me, I take experience. I take the guy that's only lost twice. That's Jalen Hurts.
Those 2 games he lost, obviously, the Iron Bowl, and then the other one, the national championship to Clemson.
Which he could have won.
And I'm going to go with experience as well. I think Jalen's the guy that Nick's going to go with, and if something goes wrong, you've got Tua, who is a Heisman favorite, so that's not a bad number 2, right?
He's your backup quarterback.
All right, and for personal picks, I'm going to stick with football. I am going to go to Michigan, traveling to Notre Dame. It's 2 top 15 schools. I think Jim Harbaugh has a good quarterback this year. He's a quarterback guy, so I'm picking the Wolverines in that one.
All right, well, you're going Power 5. I'm going Group of 5. To the Fun Belt we go. Boise State coming all the way down to South Alabama to face Troy. This will be a biggie as far as that at-large bid to get into the Power 6 bowl games, the New Year's 6, excuse me. I'm taking Troy. Biggie for the Trojans. They knocked off LSU last year. Neil Brown's got a good thing going. I think the Trojans will beat the Broncos.
All right, looking forward to that one. All right, you've also got Connor's picks. Who's he got?
We got Connor. He's taking Washington over Auburn and Atlanta. He's picking Tua to start over Jalen for that game against Louisville.
Okay.
And then because it's Connor, he's taking a NASCAR pick for his personal pick. Kyle Busch to win the Southern 500 at Darlington.
You have to love his persistence.
I mean, it's worked from once out of, 25 races or so?
I don't know the numbers, but it's not good.
I mean, we've been doing this since mid-February, so.
All right, let's go to Rex's pick. He thinks, like you do, he thinks Auburn's going to win that game. He'll obviously be there in Atlanta, so we're going to have full coverage for you for that Chick-fil-A kickoff. So he's taking the Tigers. For the Alabama situation, he's taking Tua as well. So it's a Heisman favorite. It's hard to pick against him. It's just Jalen's a very good quarterback as well.
Exactly.
And then for his personal pick, he's taking the Columbus Lions, who, like I just mentioned a little bit ago, they're playing Carolina tomorrow in the championship, and that's in Greensboro. We'll have that covered for you, but he likes the Lions in that one.
Roar, Lions, roar.
All right, that is it for Picks of the Week. Thanks so much for joining me, Jack. You got it. Still, the Carver Tigers picked up a statement win in Week 1 against Harris County, and they did it again on Friday in the Heritage Bowl, winning 15-10. Hear from the team as they receive our very first Athletes of the Week award for the new 2018 school year. This year, Corey Joyner took over the Carver football program, and they kicked off the season with a huge comeback win over Harris County. Before they beat Spencer on Friday, Carlos Williams caught up with the Tigers to give them our Athletes of the Week award.
Well, the Carver High football team went into their big game against Harris County with many unanswered questions. But last Friday night, most of those questions were answered. Harris County presented an extremely tough test for Carver.
Yes, it was a big win. It's a big step for our program. It's a big step for our community as well as our school. Harris County is a tough component, tough opponent that we had to play, and I'm glad we gutted it out in the condition that we was in.
And while the Tigers played well on offense and defense, the star of the show was Carver running back Kari McCoy, who picked up the tough yardage when needed, and he reeled off several dazzling runs.
Yeah, Kari McCoy, he had 22 carries for 100 yards Friday night, and we hope he can duplicate that tomorrow, Friday night as well.
Now, this Friday night, the Tigers won't get a break. That's because they've got to take on their arch rival, the Spencer Green Wave, in the 56th annual Heritage Bowl.
That's going to be very, very hard for us. They got a great team. They've been well coached. You see a lot of things they do. You're scared of the guy that's number one. I guess his name is Corey Calhoun. You got great respect for the coaches as well as the players over there.
And so we say good luck and congratulations to the Carver High Tigers football team, our Cody Road Trophies and Jewelers Prep Zone Athletes of the Week. On the hill at Carver High School, I'm Carlos Williams for News 3 Sports, on your side.
Of course, Carver ended up winning that game, beating Spencer. Coming up, we've got a breakdown of our game of the week next week between two bitter rivals, Opelika and Auburn, and the special friendship between two players, one from Lynette and one from Valley. I know we say this for every game of the week, but man, this is a big one. Opelika and Auburn, two rivals, about 15 minutes from each other, and both have a storied football tradition. The Bulldogs lost to Callaway last week by 2 touchdowns, while the Tigers crushed Central Wilcox 42-0 at home. This game will be played in Auburn, and we will be there with Bob Jeswald for our Friday night tailgate. All right, the thing you have to see this week is good old-fashioned sportsmanship. After Carver came back to beat their rival Spencer in the Heritage Bowl, Corey Joyner made sure he found Green Wave head coach Justin Newman to share a handshake and a hug. And then how about this hug between two players? Valley pulled off the upset on Friday, beating their rival and defending state champion Lynette. But the best moment came when childhood friends Christian Story, the quarterback for Lynette, and Daniel Osborne, a lineman for Valley, shared a hug after the game. We're going to have more on their story and their friendship tomorrow night on The Night Watch. Thanks for watching The Last Call. We are on every Sunday night at 11:30 Eastern. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at WRBL Sports. The James Brown Show is next. We'll see you next Sunday.